Welcome to the Dental 18 podcast. I'm your host, Kiera Dent, and I had this crazy idea that maybe I could combine a doctor and a team member's perspective because let's face it, dentistry can be a challenging profession with those two perspectives. I've been a dental assistant, treatment coordinator, scheduler, filler, office manager, regional manager, practice owner, and I have a team of traveling consultants where we have traveled to over 165 different offices coaching teams. Yep, we don't just understand you, we are you. Our mission is to positively impact the world of dental, and I believe that this podcast is the greatest way I can help elevate teams, grow VIP experiences, reduce stress, and create A-teams. Welcome to the Dental 18 podcast. Hip hip hooray! It's mine and Tiffany's birthday. That's right, May 8th is our birthday. We share the same birthday, and we decided we wanted to celebrate with all of you. So we're doing this a little crazy style. May 7th at 12 p.m. Pacific, we're inviting you to join us at our virtual house party. That's right, it's going to be on Zoom where we get to see your cute faces, and as an added perk, it's going to be a live podcast. So bring those party hats, bring those questions, anything you've ever want answered on the podcast. This is the time, guys, and we cannot wait. So to register, hop on over to thedental18.com/house party. It's free, and we want all of you there because honestly, I'll be a little sad if only 2 people are there. So bring your friends, bring your teams. This is going to be a time for you to ask your questions and celebrate with us. We can't wait to bring in our birthday with you. Hello, Dental 18 listeners. This is Kiera, and today I wanted to go over an autopsy on a practice. You guys know how I love to autopsy practices, so I hope you guys are excited. Let's jump right on in. So this practice, I've seen them twice, and when I first met them, the team was super resistant with me, and they told me, hey, good luck. We've had other consultants in here in the past, and nothing has ever changed. And I was like, cool, game on. Let's do this. So then I worked with them. What was happening is I believe they have 10 operatories. They have 3 doctors working there. They have 4 hygienists. They were working on soft dent before. They had an office manager and a high producing doctor actually leave the practice prior. And they had decided that was a huge hit on them because they not only lost their office manager, they also lost their high producing doctor. So double strike on that one. Their main doctor, the owner of the practice, he is amazing. He's such a great guy. And he's very similar to me. If you guys heard some of my other podcasts, a strong desire to be liked. He comes in on the disc profile as a strong I, which is great. Those are strong leaders. They just have to be careful to make sure that they're not allowing the desire to be liked overshadow what needs to happen in the practice. And that might mean that people don't like you or love you. And are you willing to make those changes? His new office manager, she's a rock star. She is eager and ready to learn. She comes from being a hygienist, and she doesn't know everything about office management. And I love that she told me, Kiera, I don't know everything. Can you please help coach me? So when I first went in, we worked on getting good handoffs. So we needed help with case acceptance and collections. We worked on getting the front office separated, getting some end of days, getting some leadership in place. And that was what we did. I thought that was a great first visit. I noticed that their collections were low. They need to increase their production. So let's tackle those areas and get a whole unified approach. So then I lied to guys. I've been in their practice 3 times. So then I went back in a couple of months. The team was doing okay. Their biggest struggle is we put these ideas into place and the team has literally lost confidence that the practice is ever going to move forward with the changes they make. So they get all excited, but then, it fizzles in 1 or 2 weeks. And what I will tell you is this is a difference between exceptional leaders and just leaders. Exceptional leaders are those who actually follow through with what they say they're going to do by living with high integrity. So if we say we're going to do this, your word will eat you alive if you don't follow it. That's the kind of leader I want. I want somebody who is so dedicated to those results that their team knows if you say this, it's going to happen, versus the team that feels, doesn't matter. They've said this 100 times. It doesn't matter. Nothing's going to change. I will tell you, leaders, if your team says to you, it doesn't matter, nothing's ever going to change, you have lost confidence in your team. And that is one of the scariest places to be in. Because when your team has lost confidence that you will ever change, you've lost the ability to lead them. Now it's a free-for-all and good luck. You better hope that they will. There are still some strong people in there. So when I came back the second time, I realized they didn't have core values. They didn't have a direction or a focus. So it's hard. Like, why would things want to stick into place if there isn't an actual direction and focus to go towards? So with the direction and focus, we put into place core values. They had already prepped on that. I just finalized that with them. I taught them how to run level 10 meetings. I put into place another leadership team. We worked on one-on-one interviews or monthly check-ins with the office manager so she would have time to check in with them. We also worked on revamping their morning huddle a little bit so the core values are more incorporated. I redid their schedule, got them on track for open dental. We broke it apart and I helped increase production so we maximized the extra room with assistants. I did individual department meetings with the hygiene department, the front office department, and also the dental assistants. Dental assistants realized they weren't being utilized, so we put into place a procedure tracking method. So every single assistant had to learn how to do all the different procedures. And they made the form, they followed through with it. I was so proud of that assisting team. They did an awesome job. The hygiene department, they were working on perio protocols together. And we revamped who was kind of working together to help the hygiene department be more successful. And then the front office, I helped them with their schedule to help get the doctors on certain days. We moved ortho just to one day. So we did a lot in that second visit and the team was on fire. They were so excited. They felt like there was progress, there was growth. So then a few months went by, probably more months than I should have allowed to go by schedule-wise. And when I came back, the team was in disarray. Morale was down. They had lost team members. There was turnover. The assistants weren't being utilized by the doctors. The doctors weren't using the extra room. The front office was struggling. It was messy. And I was like, what is going on in this practice when I was there? And honestly, you guys, I don't get very discouraged or defeated. That was an office that I was pretty discouraged on. I kind of lost hope. I thought, well, shoot, we implemented all these things. We rallied the team. And now I also feel like I lied and deceived this team. I promised them they'd see changes because I know that I will make changes. That's what we do. That's what the dental team does. One of my coaches, if they come to your practice, you will see change. You will get results. That's our core values. That's what we live by. And I was super discouraged. I even told the office manager, like, you know what? I might not be the right coach for you guys. And she told me, she said, Kiera, please don't give up on us. And I thought, okay, well, if she's got a glimmer of hope, I need to get a glimmer of hope. So I had a pretty strong conversation of, look, you guys as the leadership team, office manager and doctor, you have to follow through. Otherwise, you're breaking promises to your team. You're letting your team down. They've lost confidence in you, and therefore I cannot do the job you hired me to do. So leaders, this stems from you. I don't care if you want to be liked, loved, hated, or whatever. Your responsibility as a leader is to lead your team and hold them accountable. So I started thinking, I broke it down and I thought, what is happening in this practice? Why are they struggling? And I realized, one, they're not following through. And so I dug a little deeper. One of my favorite things, you guys, that I was taught at Tony Robbins was ask better questions to get better results. So I dig and I pry. Instead of saying like, oh, it's a lost cause. There's nothing that's going to happen with these people. I ask the question, well, why are they not holding accountable? And keep digging until you find the actual true cause of what's going on. So I asked the question and I said, okay, well, why? What's going on to where they can't hold them accountable? And I was like, doctor and office manager are having meetings. They're following up. They've learned how to do level 10s. We're having departmental meetings. I realized the one-on-ones that I had implemented in the in-office visit prior was not happening. So I thought, well, if the office manager is not meeting with her team members, how can she get true feedback of what's going on? And also, how can she hold them accountable? Also, the office manager, they were short-staffed in the front office. She was up there being the treatment coordinator, the scheduler. She did not have time. That was right there, guys. You know it. You've heard it 1,000 times. That's urgent versus important. All of you could be sitting there like judging this office and saying, well, why are they doing this? Why are they doing that? Guess what? This office is not unlike you, which is why I tried to do this as this is why I opted to do this as my office autopsy this time. Because this office manager is just like the bulk of offices I see. As an office manager, I found that a lot of times we don't have a set seat that we need to sit in, and therefore we think we can be afloat because we don't have confidence and we're learning what we actually need to be doing. So I told this office manager, we listed off all the things. They needed to hire a dental assistant. They needed to hire a front office. And she's just like, I'm spinning my wheels. I'm super busy. And I realized she didn't have any admin time either. So there was no set time. Like, yes, she needed to help cover the front. But was that really the most important thing for this poor office manager to be doing? The answer is no. You guys might challenge me. You might say, Kiera, patient experience. And I will tell you, you are absolutely correct. Patient experience is number one. However, if that office manager does not have time to hire someone else, you will forever fall below the level of patient experience, period. So therefore, this office manager had to prioritize the important things over the urgent things. And it was, you guys, life is going to come to you. Life is always going to come to you. It's not going to stop. You have to bend life and create it. You can't just sit there and manage all day long. Otherwise, you will not make progress. Are you creating life or are you managing it? Because if you're just managing it, whoa, you're never going to get ahead. I shouldn't say never, that's an extreme, but most likely it's going to be harder and a longer road as opposed to just dedicating time that you could work on. So with that said, what I had this office manager do here was basically what I did. Number one, I went into the office this third visit, morale's down, they haven't stuck through with it. And honestly, the team told me like, Kiera, you keep coming in, you tell us this is going to happen and we're not seeing changes. And I was like, shoot, you're right. So I told them I'm not going to promise things if you guys can't follow through. I'm not willing to put my neck on the line if you guys can't follow through. So office manager and I had a strong chat. We put in her schedule. I'm very proud of her. She takes action and she implements like a machine. So I said, admin time, no ifs, ands, or buts. Block it in your schedule. I need you to get at least 2 to 3 hours right now, immediately. Where can you put it? And I pointed out to her, I said, you spend this time with me when I come into an office. I know your front office does not need you up there all the time. Block the admin time, make this a priority. And she did. So she did that. Okay. Then what I did is I said, no ifs, ands, or buts. One-on-ones must happen. You've got to get a read on your team and you've got to be able to hold them accountable. So we put that into place. We also talked with the hygiene department. The team lead needs to be held accountable to that to make sure the hygiene department's producing. They also switched to open dental at this point. So I also put into place provider views. So this way, every single provider could see what they're producing every single day. And we revamped Morning Huddle to, instead of them just talking about what's going on, their job was to now go into Morning Huddle and talk about how to get to goal. So if they were below on their goal, their job was to actually talk about a game plan of how to get to how to get to goal in their Morning Huddle. So we revamped that, gave them provider views so everybody would know what they needed to do to hit the goals, worked on that, gave the office manager admin time, and then implemented one-on-ones. During the meeting, I had every single one of them go through disc profiling. I went disc profiling with all of them. I separated the room into all the different departments so everybody could see on the team who was which personality type. I also gave them a printout of what each personality or each personality type disc, what their strengths were, what their weaknesses were, and how they like to be communicated to. The office manager was very intuitive and she took notes during that time so she could see what all the different personalities were. I also had them go through a one-on-one peer review or check-in that they would be doing with the office manager based on their core values. We defined their core values, and then that was pretty much what I did. I didn't put a lot into place this time. I figured you have to regain the confidence of your team. So therefore, this is what I'm going to implement this visit. It was a glorious, glorious moment. I had left the office. I had been gone for about 2 to 3-ish weeks. And the office manager sent me an email and said, Kiera, this is unreal. I've been able to hire a front office. I've been able to hire a dental assistant. Also, I noticed because I was working on it that our collections, we've been using an insurance company. And since I've been auditing it, I've been able to actually collect in over $50,000 worth of outstanding claims. I found $25,000 worth of insurance checks that this company had just missed posting. Right there, you guys. I don't know if you just did the math. That's $75,000. Okay. $75,000 that were found and added to this office because the office manager had 3 hours of admin time per week. Okay. So she did that. She hired. She's been able to onboard better. She has more time in her schedule. Plus, another thing I did give her at the last visit was I gave her a weekly KPI report because I realized maybe she didn't know what numbers to be looking at. So let me just give her a report that she could then send over to me so I could give her more support outside of it. She now knows exactly where her office is on case acceptance, on collections, on reappointment percentages, on her AR. She has more time for that. And I was so excited when I talked to her because her vibe was sky high. She was on cloud nine. She said, Kiera, things are going so well. I'm doing so much better. We talked through a few different things on our coaching call that we just recently had. And I was so impressed. Her team was doing better. They had higher morale because the office manager could truly take care of the team. She actually could have stewardship over them. She could hold them accountable. She came up with a plan. She's got a team member coming back, and she came up with a plan to help this team member get more involved in open dental. She's got onboarding processes. And I just thought, all right, what are our takeaways from this practice? One, if you don't hold people accountable, you lose credibility instantly, and your team will then stop following. So if you put something into play, follow through. That's the bottom line. And if you're not going to follow through, don't use magic words thinking it's going to win your team over. All that does is it creates animosity amongst you and your team members, and they no longer believe you. You've cried wolf too many times that they won't believe you. Number 2, don't give up. This office manager had a hard feat in front of her, and she has yet to give up. Number 3, make sure your team leads have blocked admin time. We expect them to get all this leadership stuff done, but if they don't have time to get it done, when do they ever get it done? Also, are you prioritizing urgent or are you prioritizing important? And are you making that a must in your life? And are you spot checking outsourced companies? If not, get on that. She found $75,000, you guys. That's insanity to me. That makes my heart cringe. And it was just because it wasn't being checked and spot checked. And are you doing a weekly KPI report with your office manager? If not, email us over. I'm happy to share a sample with you guys. This is something that's really helped her become hyper aware of her numbers. I've done this in so many offices, and those office managers can tell me on a dime what their case acceptance is, what their reappointment is, why their numbers are what they are. And that's what I would expect of all office managers, all dentists. You should know those numbers. And if you don't, you need to get a system to where you do. It was just like when my bookkeeper would ask me, or I'd have people ask me, what's your overhead? And I would have these embarrassed eyes of, I honestly don't know. That's your job as a business owner, to know those numbers and to keep people accountable. Also, by having the KPI, numbers don't lie. Numbers do not lie. So therefore, it's easier to hold your team members accountable as well. So do it. It becomes really, really incredible for you and your team. All right, you guys, this was an office autopsy. I get to go see them in a couple more weeks. It's not too far away. I bumped up my visit to see them sooner, so that way I could help make sure things are on track. But I was very proud of this office. The office that I thought, I don't even know how to change them, is the office that I'm incredibly impressed with, that has grown. The office manager has grown in her leadership. The doctor has grown in delegation. They're still working on accountability, but I do know that by the office manager now having time to actually hold people accountable, she was able to get a lot more traction and progress than she ever would have done. So you guys, there you go. There is an office autopsy. I hope you loved it. If you want to be in office on an office autopsy, let me know. Email us at hello@thedental.team. We can always work out a deal if you want to ever be part of that. We could come see your practice, and we could office autopsy you as well. Or if you ever want to be in an office where I've been thinking about a podcast title, so email me. Or excuse me, not a title, a topic. So email hello@thedental.team.com if you think this would be an interesting topic for you. And that would be having some offices apply. So you just kind of put your name in a hat, and I'll draw an office, and I'll put you on the podcast, and I will actually autopsy your practice with you. Kind of put you on a hot seat via a podcast, so you could actually get some feedback from me of, hey, this is what's going on. What do you think? So if you guys think that would be a fun topic for you, if you guys would be interested, if I did that maybe once a quarter, maybe once a month, I'm not sure the cadence of that. Let me know if you'd be interested in doing that, or if you would be an office interested in having your office put on the podcast. So let me know. hello@thedental.team.com. And as always, thank you guys so much for being a part of my Dental Team family. And I'll catch you next time on the Dental Team podcast. And that wraps it up for another episode of the Dental Team podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.